Hey guys, it's Katie. So today I am 38 weeks and 2 days pregnant. So I am coming up to the last couple weeks here and I'm so excited, but now I'm kind of freaking out, to be honest. I will give you like a short little update on what's been going on for the last trimester-ish. And I can't remember where I left off when I did my last update, but I know I told you guys in my second trimester that I fell and I had to go to the hospital for that. Everything ended up being okay, thank the Lord. And then I think I also told you guys that I passed my gestational diabetes test, so I do not have GD, which hallelujah for that as well. And ever since then, I don't think I've updated you on much. So I had been working. Today's my first day on maternity leave, so that's exciting, but I'm already bored. So I hope that she gets here quickly because I'd rather be spending my time off with her than just sitting around the house. So today is my first day of maternity leave, and I had been working all the way up until 38 weeks and 1 day. And I felt pretty good, surprisingly. I wasn't nearly as tired in the third trimester as I had been in the first trimester. The first trimester, like, I could barely get through the day. I was exhausted when I would get home. Every day I was taking a nap, and I have a lot more energy in the third trimester. So I'm thankful for that because I was able to work for a pretty long time into my pregnancy. And I didn't really get any swelling until like midway through week 37. So I noticed that the other day my feet were super swollen, like super swollen. And that was a little shocking, but I just had a doctor's appointment and everything, looked normal and everything. She was like, oh, that's normal to get some pretty intense swelling. So also that day that I really noticed it was a pretty stressful day and I had been on my feet a lot during that day. So today they don't look so bad because I've just been sitting around the house, but definitely some swelling there for a little bit. And then as far as any other like symptoms or side effects go of being in the third trimester, it's mainly just been being emotional. And I don't know if that's just the third trimester or if I have had a pretty emotional last few weeks. And I might insert a clip here of me on my way home from work the other day just like bawling because I was just having a tough day. And usually I have like pretty thick skin, but I think at that point I was just ready to be done with work. Not really physically, but just like emotionally. Like I was tired. Like my brain was tired. And other than that, no like real cravings or anything. I've been staying away from the caffeine, but like if I have a Diet Coke or anything like that, then I have caffeine-free Diet Coke. But I have been really wanting sweet tea, so that's been interesting. And so I'll allow myself like a little bit throughout the day, but not nearly as many milligrams of caffeine that I can have. I have been having some mild like Braxton Hicks contractions, but nothing too intense, and I've definitely felt some pressure down there, but nothing like super concerning or anything like that. Now I'm going weekly to the doctor. My last doctor's appointment was yesterday, and so she really just went over my lab work and did an ultrasound on the baby just for the heartbeat. So I didn't see her, but I could hear her. So her heartbeat is 145, which she said is nice and strong. So I feel like I was kind of surprised because I've had a pretty intense week. And I thought for sure like my blood pressure would be high and the baby's heart rate would be high, but that wasn't the case. My blood pressure was really good and her heartbeat was normal. So I'm super thankful for that. I'm wondering if this means that I'm going to have a very chill, mellow baby, even though her due date is October 27th and she's going to be a Scorpio. So watch out. if she comes on her due date. I don't know when it ends for Libras and goes to Scorpios, but it just makes me laugh thinking about like having a little firecracker daughter. Then also at my doctor's appointment yesterday, like I said, she was going over my lab work, and I was negative for strep B, which is good. Either way, like even if you're positive for that, they just give you an antibiotic so that you don't pass it on to your baby, but it's just like a bacterial infection, I guess. And so I was negative for that, which I was thankful for, but she said that my platelets are really low, which I had no idea what that meant. It's my blood platelets, but so I asked, I was like, well, what does that mean? And she said, well, it means that you're a bleeder, and if you bleed a lot, and it's difficult for your blood to clot. So I was like, okay, well, that sounds concerning. She's like, well, sometimes when your platelet count is that low, the anesthesiologist won't do an epidural. And I freaked out. Because this whole time, like, all I've been saying is my two biggest fears about labor is having something happen to my daughter and then not being able to get an epidural. Like, in my head, it's always been like, oh, I got to the hospital too late and it's too late to get an epidural, you just gotta push. That's like been what's in my head this entire time. I had no idea that your platelets could be low and that could cause you not to be able to get an epidural. Like, that wasn't even on my radar. So that was pretty upsetting. Like, I held it together when I was in the doctor's appointment, and I just asked questions like, well, what are the chances? You know, like, can I eat anything that would increase my platelets? Can I do anything that would increase my platelets? And she pretty much said no. So she said that pregnancy sometimes causes platelets to be low. And so I was like, okay. And then as soon as I got out of the appointment, I started crying because I was just like, I've never been one to be like, that's not part of my birth plan. You know, I have always said I'm just going to listen to my doctor, and whatever my doctor recommends is what I'm going to do. But like, I am scared to give birth unmedicated or without an epidural. And so that was pretty alarming news and pretty frightening. So she drew my blood again because she was like, maybe it was just a fluke. So I got my blood drawn again, and I've had my blood drawn 8,000 times during this process of trying to get pregnant, trying to stay pregnant, and being pregnant. And so to me, getting a blood draw is nothing. But the lady yesterday, holy moly, she like hurt me. Like, it felt like she went into my vein and then like moved the needle this way. Like, it was painful. But I was like, okay, whatever. So I was just planning on waiting for those results, and I thought that they would take a couple days, but they came back within like an hour, and it was pretty much the same. So I, again, got super upset on the way home, and I was like, this is not part of my plan. Like, I'm really scared to give birth without an epidural. Like, I just don't know if I could do that. And then also, like, the more I thought about it, I was concerned for my blood loss. Like, if I lose a lot of blood during labor and delivery, I mean, and it's not clotting, obviously that could be a problem, because you could hemorrhage. But I don't know, I'm just like, I'm trying not to think about it. I'm trying to just think positive. So my doctor said that some anesthesiologists won't do the epidural if your platelets are below 130, and mine were 125. So I was just thinking, like, I don't know, hopefully I get a really good anesthesiologist that feels confident that he can give me one and keep me and baby safe while doing that. So I don't know, I'm just trying not to think about it, because the more I thought about it yesterday, the more I was just like freaking myself out for no reason. Like, I mean, obviously there's a reason, but like freaking myself out when like I can't do anything about it, you know? And I could be freaking myself out for 3 more weeks, or, you know, until she gets here, which if she's late, then it could be 3 weeks. Yeah, so that was what I got from my last doctor's appointment, which was not great. I've heard that other hospitals will, like when that happens, because apparently platelets can get even lower as the pregnancy continues. And so I've heard other hospitals, like when I was Googling it, I know I should stay off Google, but I wanted to get some more answers after I left. And some women were saying that at their hospital, they would induce them a little bit earlier so that they could still get the epidural. And then they would put the epidural in right away and then just not turn it on until like it was time to start pushing. And so I was like, well, that would be nice, but I have Kaiser insurance, so I don't know if Kaisers are everywhere in the US, but they are in California, and that's what insurance I have, which usually I really like Kaiser. I've been happy with them, but they are very, like, they're very, how do I say this, like by the book, I guess you could say. Like, they don't like to induce, like if you're just late, like if your baby is just past their due date, usually they won't induce until like 2 weeks past your due date, which is crazy to me, unless the baby is obviously like really big or anything like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna ask next time I go, because I go next week, but see if that's even an option. I don't know. I'm just nervous to do this without some medicated assistance. But that is pretty much the update that I have as far as how the last few weeks have been going. We're almost there, and I cannot wait until I get to see her. We didn't do any like 4D scans or anything like that, so we have no idea what she's going to look like or who she's going to look like. So that's kind of exciting for us. Like, I don't know. I do know that the doctors have said that she's healthy, and I've seen all of her limbs on the ultrasound, but we don't know what that pretty face is going to look like. But other than that, baby is healthy, and that's all that I can really ask for. So I hope I get to meet her sooner rather than later. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.